Good morning and welcome to week 11. So, just looking at our weeks, you can see that we are getting close to the finish line. So, it's time to regain some of that energy and focus and motivation and work to complete your assignments. So, coming up on the 27th, you have your philosophy due. Some people have already turned that in, and that's just wonderful. And those people have done a great job. So, let me motivate the others to think about getting that done, perhaps prior to Thanksgiving, so you won't have to be thinking about it over the holiday. Of course, we also have your structured external assignment due. And I would assume that you have already been busy at work creating and delivering those lessons and doing what is necessary as far as that's concerned. For those of you who were with me in the chat the other night, I hope that was useful to you, and I've shared it with everybody so that that information can be helpful in completing your last assignment. I know it's a struggle to continue a course for so many weeks and maintain that same level of motivation. So be sure that you are still responding each week to the discussion board. I noticed that there were a few dropouts in the past 2 weeks when it came time to grade the discussion board, and although those are minimal in points, they still do add up in the end, so you don't want to forget about that. So this week we are looking at facilitating writing for ELLs. And if you are visiting this page for the first time, that's fine. But if you had been here before, you'll notice that I've added some resources for you that I would like to discuss. So we've got several websites. The first one takes us out of Blackboard and into Color in Colorado. And anybody who's teaching ELLs certainly should have this as one of your resources. So I've taken you right to the page that talks about writing strategies for ELLs. And you have a number of resources. You have wonderful ideas for graphic organizers, and if you were to click on that link, you would see not only ideas for graphic organizers, but KWL charts, concept definition maps, and other ideas that you can use with your students. You can also see that you have many other links, recommended writing websites, all writing considerations for ELLs, and so on. You've got research guides, and you've got just about everything that you could really need or want concerning this issue. Parent resources, tips, ideas from some of the sister sites, Reading Rockets, with some videos as well. So I would encourage you to spend some time here and explore this site. Moving back to our resources, we can take a look. This next one also goes to Color in Colorado, but this takes us to a little different area, and this does this by grade level. So it does kindergarten, grade 1, 2, and 3, and then it does grades 4 through 12 as a group. So again, I think you can find some wonderful ideas, some webcasts, professional resources that will add to your wealth of knowledge in this area. I added this, although it's included within a link on one of the other sites, but I wanted you to definitely be aware, if you aren't already, of the New York Times Learning Network work that is available to you and your students free of charge. This is an incredible, incredible resource, not just for the English language learner and their power of personal stories that I've included here for you, which is really good reading, but because this gives you an opportunity to keep current news. And you can see we've got Hurricane Sandy, election resources, and ideas for lesson planning, ideas for your students to become interactive. If you're not familiar with the Learning Network, I want you to click here and watch this short 1 minute or so video explaining to you what this is. And certainly this is something you're going to want to bookmark and visit often. It's a wonderful resource for teachers. Whoops. There we go, back again. I kind of clicked out of my Blackboard for a minute there. The last website that I'd like to share with you is also an excellent one, and it comes from University of North Carolina, where they have a section on writing and English as a second language. And this as well is another website for wonderful resources, learning materials, lesson plans, best standards, not just suitable for those in North Carolina, but suitable for all of us. And here they talk about the writing process and English language learners. And the process approach that they adhere to is really important and suited to the second language learner because it incorporates listening, speaking, and I think you would agree that it's important to be able to speak before we ask our students to actually write. They give some wonderful ideas for the pre-writing process, and many of these we use with not just English language learners, but with all learners. The concept of brainstorming and word banks, but including drawing and sketching and discussion, the use of graphic organizers, and using videos and books and other and the internet for doing research to gather information. The second step of this process approach is writing the draft. And in this stage, student use their notes and their language that they did in the pre-writing activities. And for second language students, this is a really, really important step. They need to know their draft does not have to be perfect. And the purpose is just to get their ideas down on paper. The spelling may need editing, and there may be grammatical errors. They may even be at a loss for a word and have to write that word in their own language, but that's okay at this point, and we should encourage this. The next stage is revising and editing, and second language learners may need assistance from teachers, from their peers in this process. It's a very, very important process for these students. Now the next step is word processing. And here we encourage second language learners to use a word processing program in the writing process if it is available to us. And this is simply because this will facilitate with the composing, the revising, and the editing stage. It makes it a lot less painful than having to rewrite your work over and over and over. It also produces a copy that is very legible and professional. And I think that's really, really important. They also mention translating, and this is not very useful, as they say, because there's often a big discrepancy in what students can express in their first language and what their limited foreign language enables them to do. So if they look up every word in the dictionary and end up with a literal translation, that often doesn't work well, as you may know, if you try to do that in a foreign language yourself. They also talk about strategies relating to proficiency and what the novice can do, what the intermediate student can do, and what the advanced student can do. I hope that's useful to you and that you explore this site for other things as well. We do have one video for you this week, and I think it's wonderful because it is created by a group of English language learners at a public elementary school in New York City. And you'll see them doing the brainstorming process for a creative story and using storyboards and drafting their script, doing the artwork, and rehearsing and recording the dialogue to go with the PowerPoint. So perhaps this could inspire you to do something like this with your own students, but it is fun to watch. So that's about it for this week. Just reminding you that we have another chat December 4th. Hopefully you can join me. Your philosophy statement is due on the 27th. Your structured external assignment on the 11th. And please know again that I'm available to you via email and phone on a daily basis, so do take advantage of that. Have a great week, and I will speak with you soon.